Hi Aries, welcome to your Mercury Retrograde reading. The reason that I think this reading is important is because we are a community of people who watch for signs. Signs to confirm if we're making the right decision or what's our next step or things like that. We're constantly watching out for guidance. So, Mercury is going retrograde on October 30th, and that means that everything that Mercury governs can tend to and has a possibility to get a little bit wonky. What does that mean? That means that if you're in a brand new relationship that you've been in for the last 6 months or so, or whatever, and during Mercury retrograde, your guys' communication starts to break down. You might think, oh no, this is a sign. I thought I had it right this time, and we can't even get on the same page with communication. This is a sign. Well, guess what? Mercury governs communication. So the likelihood that it's a sign becomes smaller, and it's more like it's just Mercury went retrograde. So I think that because we're a community that watches for signs, it's important to know what signs could kind of be messed with during Mercury retrograde. That might actually not be a sign. Okay, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for my Aries friends. I thank you that they come to you for guidance, and I thank you that you lay out roadmaps for us. We thank you for clear and concise messages, love, light, and prosperity, and clarification, confirmation, and validation. Show us clearly what energies would it benefit my Aries friends to focus on during the Mercury retrograde. Show us what energies would be beneficial for them to focus on, my Aries friends, during Mercury retrograde. Okay, guys, let's see what we got. We're going to look in the area of health and wellness, family and friends, career and finance, and love. 4 different areas. So in health and wellness, we're getting emotional loss. In family and friends, we're getting passion ignited. In career and finance, we're getting rejoice in celebration. And in love, we're getting triumph. Okay, so now we're going to look and see what the clarifiers are. And I'm going to get clarifiers before we start talking about each energy, because I don't want to go reading something and then the clarifiers say something different. It's always better if I wait on them to give me the message before I start talking about it. While I'm shuffling, I want to thank you guys so much for the likes, the subscribes, the comments, all that stuff. I will be 3 months old October 5th, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. I think this channel will be there before that 3-month period. And it's stressing me out because I'm trying to figure out how can we celebrate that. So if you have any ideas about how to celebrate the 10,000 mark in subscribers, please put in the comments. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us the clarifiers for these energies. What is it about emotional loss as it relates to health and wellness? What is it that we need to know? What is it about passion ignited as it relates to family and friends? Show us again. What is it that we need to know? And with career and finance, rejoice in celebration, and with love, triumph. Show us what we need to know. Okay, with health and wellness and emotional loss, we're getting the Temptation card as a clarifier. We're also getting Messenger of Fire. And we're getting the High Priestess. Okay, Aries, with family and friends, we're getting Passion Ignited, clarified by Messenger of Air. And the Moon. And Justice. Okay. In career and finance, rejoice in celebration is being clarified with Ace of Water, Messenger of Earth, and 10 of Earth. Okay, and in love, We've got Triumph, which is the Chariot, and it's being clarified with the Emperor. That's you. The Queen of Water, and the Two of Air. Okay. Wow. This is going to be fun. Okay. Well, I say this is going to be fun, then I pull emotional loss as my first card. I'm really looking at all this other stuff. But I'm looking also at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 major arcana in this reading. Okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those major arcana show up in health and wellness and family and friends. So looks like in our personal arena, we might have some things to watch out for to maintain the integrity of where we are. So Aries, you're starting out with emotional loss in health and wellness. So what causes emotional loss? Whenever we let ourselves down, we actually can feel emotional about it. We can feel sad and disappointed, especially whenever we recognize that we let ourselves down. Because this is in health and wellness, it's all about you. I feel like there might be some areas in your life that you have either let yourself down, or there may be a tendency to backtrack on some of the goals that you've set for yourself during the Mercury retrograde, because that was our question. What energy should we focus on? So they're asking you to focus on that, on your emotional stability as far as health and wellness goes. And so they're clarifying it with the Temptation card. So it's possible that something happened in the recent past, Aries, that made you feel that had you focusing on the things that haven't worked out, right? Because in this card, while it's an oracle card and it's speaking to energy, to the energy that they want us to focus on, it is in the traditional tarot, in the actual tarot, it's the 5 of Cups. And if you think about that picture, it is the guy standing there all cloaked up, looking at a motorcycle just like revved its engine, and it kind of spooked me. He's looking at the 3 cups that have fallen or spilt over, and there's 2 cups behind him that he's not really paying attention to that are still standing up. It's about opportunities that we're not paying attention to, and it's about focusing on the things that really don't serve us to focus on. Okay, so with this temptation, you might have it's about earthly attachments. So you might have the and excessiveness and all that other stuff. You might have a tendency to maybe overindulge during Mercury retrograde, because you're gonna, these feelings of emotional loss are gonna want to revisit you, right? So you might have this tendency to overindulge, whether that be with drugs, alcohol, shopping, food, whatever it is. Self-sabotage, kicking yourself in the rear end for whatever, feeling like you've let yourself down. This is going to be a tendency that is going to try to revisit you in the next few weeks. So you're getting the Messenger of Fire. And the Messenger of Fire for me is it's the same as the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands moves fast and passionately and all that other stuff. But this is about you, and this is about health and wellness. So what I love about this card is, if you look at this woman, right? She is surrounded by orbs. So she's got a huge host of ancestors and loved ones on the other side that are surrounding her at all times. That's what that's telling me. The other thing it's telling me is that her crown is actually a chandelier, right? So, and her hair's red. I mean, there's a lot of fire and passion here. So this is telling me that they want you to know that you are surrounded by love. The messenger of fire has a lot of true grit. True grit. You've got 3 messengers on the board, by the way. The true grit, that you are the kind of person that when you put your mind to it, and see how that thing is around her head, her mind, when you put your mind to your passion and your inspiration, you're like unstoppable, right? And then on top of that, you've got all those orbs around you, all these spiritual beings around you that are on your side, and it wants you to remember that, right? It's also saying, as your advice, to go within and honor those connections that you have with the other side. The high priestess is very intuitive. She walks between 2 worlds, right? Aries, you have these abilities. You have the ability to be able to communicate with the other side. You have the ability to be able to decipher and discern messages from the other side. You have this intrinsic capacity or capability within yourself. And it's going to be real important for you during Mercury retrograde to focus on this type of to do this instead of this, okay? Instead of allowing yourself in the physical world to go back and do those things that you know aren't good for you, to instead do this, to really get connected, to hook up with your people on the other side, to hook up with your guides, your angels, your archangels, your loved ones, your ancestors, all those people. God, the Holy Spirit, all of them. Because this emotional loss is going to have a tendency to want to come back and visit you during Mercury retrograde. So this is how you're going to be able to avert that. I love roadmaps, right? This is a roadmap. Okay, Aries, in family and friends, you've got passion ignited. So this is the same as the Ace of Wands. Yes, the Ace of Wands. For me, any ace is a gift, right? So it's like you have, where your family and friends are concerned, I feel like it's more talking about you and your passion and the inspired ignition of a journey that you wanted to go on. And that family and friends might not have necessarily been on board, right? So you're out here in your passion, walking this walk almost alone, or that's how it feels sometimes. So what's going to happen is during Mercury retrograde, it's possible that somebody's going to come back in with their truth, trying to bring their truth back into your life. The messenger of air is like it's all about dogma and traditions and intrinsic ideas that are just so ingrained that this is the way it is and this is the way it's supposed to be. So it's possible that somebody or something may come in to trigger those old ideas that you had, the logical thoughts, this is how we were raised thoughts, those kinds of messages that might tend to trip you up or could trip you up if you allowed it. But they're reminding you that you are guided by your intuition, right? Remember I said you know how to discern and decipher these messages you're getting. So they're reminding you of that even whenever you're amongst people, family and friends included, who don't understand what you're doing, who think you've just absolutely gone lunatic, that it doesn't matter. Connect yourself, right? Remember where your guidance comes from. Remember that even in the dark, our steps are lit. With each step we need to take, the path is lit up for us, and you're being guided. So your advice is justice. Okay, so how is justice an advice card? Injustice. This is one woman standing alone, and I think it's so odd that in family and friends I see one woman standing alone in every card. Even in this one card. It could be that you have one family member that really opposes what you're doing, okay? So it might be just you and that one family member that are going to revisit this idea, possibly. But here's justice. So justice says we're born with certain rights, right? One of them is that we have a right to be who we are. Okay, so there's your truth, and it's lit up in this sword. I want you to look at that sword. It's lit. So it's a truth that you found. It's a truth that you were guided to about yourself and how you want to show up in the world, in spite of maybe how you were brought up, in spite of possibly what you were taught, whatever. You know your truth based on experiences you've had, guidance you've had from your team, your spiritual team. And you feel very balanced. So it's reminding you that your advice is to focus on, revisit the fact that it is just and right for you to be you, Aries. It is just and it is right. And that's justice. So they want you to, as your advice, to focus on that you also have. And I don't know if this is male or female, but I think it's really two different decks. She looks like the same girl, just in different dress, right? So I'm not saying you're a female, but it's male or female. It's not gender specific, but this passion that was ignited within you, whenever it was ignited within you, I feel like it's not been a whole long time ago, but there is somebody among your family and friends, at least one person, that's just really trying to keep you from walking this path. And it's reminding you, especially, and it may have tampered down, right? But Mercury retrograde is whenever things revisit us, whenever things return. And it looks like in this area, it's going to be somebody coming against you. That's kind of strong. The idea of what they want for you may come back into your experience, and it's asking you to remember who you are and that you have that right to be who you are. Okay? In career and finance, I'm seeing nothing but the good stuff. And it seems like everybody's job is kind of a theme. Everybody's job's going to be just fine during Mercury retrograde. And that's probably because there's going to be so many computer crashes and outages, like electrical outages and everything. Nobody's going to have time to be too particularly involved in what you're doing. if you're an employee of someone, or if you're the owner, it's just things are just going to keep rolling along or whatever, in spite of everything. But you've got the Three of Cups, which means celebration, right? So it looks like you're going to have a lot to celebrate during the retrograde. One of them is that you are where you want to be. And if you're not, you're soon going to be. And they want you to focus on that. The other one is that as the messenger of Earth, this is likely somebody, or because of the questions we asked, right? And I'm getting where you are and what they want you to remember, and then your advice card. So what they want you to remember during Mercury retrograde is that you are very capable of doing anything that you want to do. Absolutely anything that you want to do. And perhaps this celebration card is about maybe you just recently started something new in your path and it's going well and it's going to continue to go well, and because you're watching this, you're going to know if your computer crashes or a couple clients walk away or whatever. It's not a sign. It's just part of Mercury retrograde. Go read the article down there in the description. But you have everything that it takes to do the things that you need to do to be able to provide sustenance in your own life. You know, you're not afraid to get your hands in there and get dirty and do the work, is what I'm trying to say. But look at your advice is to focus on Focus on the wealth that you are going to be able to create if you haven't already created it. This is where they want your focus to be when it comes to that. Celebrate, yes, but stay focused on the long term. Stay focused on what, not focused on it like what do I need to do, not stressing yourself out, worrying what do you need to do next, but focused on it and be grateful that you know that it's coming for you, that is your ultimate achievement in career and finance. Okay, in love, we've got the Triumph card. Okay, so again, a major arcana, and if this was the traditional tarot, this would be the Chariot. So this is about moving forward, and I feel like you are ready to move forward with something, Aries, in the love relationship, right? In the love category, because this guy's moving fast. He's moving fast. That flag's flying. It's red. It's full of passion. He's not letting the dust settle under his feet. I mean, he's out there, and he's inspired to do this, right? So that's you. So it's saying, where are you now? Who are you now? With regard to this Chariot, this is who you are. And this is really who you are. This is your card, Aries, the Emperor. This is who you are. So it looks like you're ready to take some serious action. And I'm just going to say it might be with a water sign. That would be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So why are they saying focus on this during retrograde? I think they're asking you to make a choice, okay? And look how free you feel. In the traditional tarot, let's talk about this card first. This is about emotional wholeness, emotional self-love. She's at peace with who she is. She knows she is. So if this isn't about the person that you're wanting to be involved with, this is about you and your decision to move forward in self-love, possibly, right? Here is a choice that you're ready to make, the Two of Air. Now this is your advice card. So you're either moving forward in the decision to become emotionally fulfilled before you have a partner, or there is a partner in mind that you're ready to move toward. So what's your choice? I feel like if you're moving forward in self-love, then this is a journey that you've already started and you need to continue. But if this is a new relationship, again, read that article. The choice might be to wait just a little bit of time before you actually take that step, because you seem to be wanting to move pretty fast, Aries. So perhaps, and only you're going to be able to decide what this means for you. Perhaps if it's somebody brand new, perhaps they're thinking that maybe it would benefit you to wait a little bit, let Mercury go direct before you move forward. Or if it's a relationship that you're already in and you're wanting to go to the next level, perhaps, you need to make a choice about the timing of that. I feel like this choice is about timing, and it's about timing as it relates to Mercury retrograde. And, yeah, read that article down there, because it talks about relationships and it explains it quite a bit better than I can. But I feel like there's either you're wholeheartedly after yourself in self-love as it relates to self-love, or you're ready to move forward with a relationship and it's asking you to just think about the timing a little bit, especially if it's a brand new relationship. Okay. Now, if it's somebody that you're revisiting, that's different. Only you're going to know. So it's important for you to read that article. Okay. God, guides, angels, archangels. I don't get paid anything if you read the article, by the way. I just think that knowledge is power. And if we know what Mercury governs and what things could possibly take place during the retrograde, then when and if it does take place, we say, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. It's not a sign that I did something wrong. So I think it's important for us to know that. Okay. Aries, what is the PS? God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit. Show us the PS for Aries. Show us, please, what is the PS for Aries as it relates to Mercury retrograde? What is it that you would have them to know? In addition to what's already on the table, unless you just want to confirm what's there. Show us what is your message for Aries, your PS for Aries in Mercury retrograde. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I just got chills. So I feel like this is somebody from your past that you want to go back to, that you want to start that relationship with again. And in that case, read the article, because I think it would be okay to move forward with that right now. The Two of Air is a choice. It has to be your decision, but I still think the decision is about timing. So read the article. But I feel like it's a relationship you want to revisit. Sure. Then you have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this tells me that as far as this message goes, it's about equal give and take, right? Perhaps if you revisit that relationship, or any of these relationships in your family and friends, and even with yourself, it's about maintaining balance, making sure that there's balance within any relationship that you ever get in, and even with the money end of it, with your job and all that stuff, to make sure that there's balance. And it's also about giving. It's about generosity. So that's another area to focus on. I feel like this is clarifying some things. Okay, so this is the Four of Cups. Okay, so they say when you revisit an old relationship during Mercury retrograde, it's like one of two things. Please read that article. That it's either about revisiting it so that there can finally be closure, or revisiting it and it actually working out and moving forward and being everything you ever expected. But I feel like this is about revisiting an old relationship, and I feel like there's a possibility that there's something else out there. And the reason I said I'm relating it to this particular category of love is because I have cups on that side, and I have equal give and take in the middle, and then I have cups right here. So that's about love and emotional fulfillment, right? So I feel like it's something to do with that, with this. So perhaps you're wanting to revisit an old love so that you can make a choice about whether or not you're moving forward. Only you know. I would love to know. Leave it in the comments. Also, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so if you have any ideas about how we can celebrate, leave that in the comments too. And until next time, I added a daily video to this channel. It's called Daily Mail. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. If you like it, make sure you hit subscribe and share and all that stuff. If you don't like it, no big deal, but make sure you come back and check next time for your reading, Aries, and have a great day. Bye.